Hi everyone. So today I have Kim here with me, and we're both going on the Classics 3-5. You can look a little happier. The Classics 355 trip for the 3 weeks in Rome. And Kim is a classics minor, so she knows a lot more about the history and everything of Rome than I do because I don't minor in classics. She wrangled me into this course a few months ago, and I was really nervous because I don't know very much about classics, but I have taken a classics class, and I absolutely loved it. It was fabulous. So I had the credentials to be accepted. Obviously, I have what it takes to do this course.
And I didn't want to go alone.
And she didn't want to go by herself. Yeah, that was a big part of it too. And I really want to go to Europe, and I think that this course is going to be a way to do it right because so many people go and they don't really know what they're looking at and like the actual history behind it. So this is going to be good. We're going to try to do this very quickly because we have a lot to talk about. Some of it's going to be repetitive and some of it isn't. So bear with us, and Kim will start with our course.
All right. So like Mel said, it's Classics 355. It's called Life in Ancient Rome. It's essentially a course that takes place just in Rome. So it has day trips, one of which is to Pompeii, which we're very much looking forward to.
Yeah, that's where we're both doing our 1 hour presentations. I'm doing mine, like I said, on the Villa of Mysteries.
And I'm doing the Temple of Apollo.
Yeah. And since it's a 4-hour bus ride, we can either sleep or cram. And I'm probably going to cram and
sleep.
Yeah.
Not a morning person, sleeping. Yeah. So what we're going to be looking at is the art, architecture, tombs, catacombs. Where the hell does the Pope live again?
Vatican?
We get to go to the Vatican. Anything that essentially has Rome's history in it during the time of the emperors and Caesars. It's more of a hands-on way of learning and remembering stuff because it's really hard to get the feeling of what it was like to be in Rome from a textbook. So that's essentially what this course is about. We're trying to learn more hands-on what it is to be a Roman. Essentially.
Yeah, and then to be in the city, to feel like the spirit of the city, I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So.
And when we're at Pompeii, we're going to get to learn what it's like to live really close to an active volcano.
An active volcano, and that really makes me nervous. Apparently they have tours where you can go right up to the top of an active volcano.
I would not want to go to the top of Mount
Who would do that?
Vesuvius, personally. Yeah. My luck, it would erupt.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, when we're there.
But I pointed out that we have a mile, Pompeii's a mile away from Mount Vesuvius.
Mount Vesuvius, yeah.
And that way we'll have a mile head start if it erupts. But, yeah.
You will see how fast I can run.
Just so long as, that only works with bears. Just so long as it's faster than me. That only works if it's lava.
It doesn't work when it's lava. It still gets both of you. Yeah, so, we're largely going to stay in Rome, though. So, just looking at what's in Rome. Course goes from May 2nd to May 23rd. I don't think I mentioned that, but she did in one of the previous videos. While we're there, we're going to stay at John Paul II House, or JP2, as it's been dubbed. It's like Mel said, it's a convent run by nuns.
Polish nuns.
Polish nuns, which will be interesting to talk to.
None of us speak Polish. I speak English and French, and Kim is learning Italian, and so
yeah.
Yeah.
Our teacher's going to give us a list of at least questions of how to ask where to go to specific locations in the house in Polish.
Yeah.
So we can just point at them.
Yeah, and I'm learning Italian too. I started last week, but I couldn't go before because I had a class conflict, but now I don't. So, yeah. Not because I dropped it, because it ended. So we're clear.
Yeah. So I know a little bit more Italian than Mal does, but by the time we go, we'll probably know pretty equal amounts.
Yeah, and actually some of the Italian words are very similar to French words, and they mean the same thing, so that can help. But some of them don't translate at all to English or French, where Kim will come in handy.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're staying at JP2 house. It is a house that was gifted to John Paul II and turned into a convent, obviously. John Paul II was a pope in Rome. I don't know exactly when. So the convent has essentially been turned sort of into a museum to him. Travelers get to stay there, obviously, because they're staying there. But each level has sort of like a mini museum set up to specific gifts that were given to John Paul II, because as a pope, they get a lot of tributes and gifts and stuff from all over the world. So each section might have like one level will be coins or pictures or something, and the whole house itself is filled with a lot of artwork, pictures of John Paul II, and other things that were given as gifts. So just being in the house, we'll get to have sort of an idea of what it was like to be a Pope.
Yeah, and it's really beautiful. It has gardens and terraces and a vending machine.
Yes, in the dining room that has 3 kinds of pop and beer for €1. So that combined with the fact that while we're there, our meals consist in the evening of a pint jar of wine every night. Our academic journals we write in the evening shall be horribly interesting, I'm sure.
Yeah, mine's gonna have all kinds of drawings that don't make sense. It's gonna be great.
Might not even be English anymore, or Italian for that matter.
It'll be like a mix of like 3 or 4 languages. It'll be fabulous.
Yeah.
Not that our teachers will be able to read it, but
so the course is essentially 6 days a week. We get Sundays off. We start at about 9 in the morning and go to 6 at night, though it varies depending on what's open. Some museums are not open as later as other
and
ones.
some sites are under construction too, so we're not like definite on what we're seeing every day, but we do have a list of things that we're seeing for sure. And if we don't get that done in this video, we'll link it in the next video.
Yeah. So we get 2 meals a day. We get breakfast and dinner at John Paul JP2 house, except on Sundays because it's their day off. We're expected to kind of go somewhere else.
Yeah, and so they feed us breakfast and dinner, but they don't feed us lunch. So we have to either make lunch or buy lunch. And there's a grocery store across the street, so we're probably going to be buying a bunch of lunch. And they have an entire fridge dedicated to our course that's going, like all of us that are going. There's about 22
There's
of us.
about 3 different fridges, but we get the largest one just to us. And there's a bunch of cubby holes where we can store dry goods and stuff too. So we're not entirely dependent on what the nuns are going to feed us. If we want something else specific like cereal, which they don't offer for breakfast in the morning,
and
we
there's
can
like
go across the street and buy it.
a stove and everything too, so we can cook. So we don't have to eat what they serve, but if we're not eating what they serve, we have to let them know so they don't cook as much.
Yeah.
So on our days off, Kim and I are hoping to go to the beach and do some sightseeing. So there's the Adriatic, which is on the east side of Italy, and then the
there's like
Tyrrhenian,
mostly people call it the Tyre Sea on the west side,
the Rome side.
and it's like maybe a half hour to get there from Rome.
Yeah, so we're gonna bring our swimsuits and hopefully spend a day doing that.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be horribly tan just from being outside all the time.
I'm bringing lots of sunscreen and hats. Anyways, all right. So flight info. Did we talk about that?
Yes.
We did. Okay. Things to do before we leave.
Yeah, we have a lot of things we have to do before we leave. Biggest one, of course, was getting our finances in
order.
Cohesion.
Yeah.
That was the word I was looking for.
We have a little rant, but we'll do it in the part 2.
So, yeah, we have to get money in order before we go. We have to do a paper that's essentially about 8 pages. That has to be done by the 25th of April. It has to be handed in to our teacher before she leaves to go to Italy.
And our last final is on the 20th, so we have like so little time to get these things done. It's crazy.
And then we have a 1-hour presentation we have to do on site, and that one's about 14 pages long in order to have enough to talk about. Mel's doing
Fill of Mysteries,
and I'm doing the Temple of Apollo, both of which are in Pompeii, which is why we're excited to go there.
Oh my God. We're so excited. We had to say it twice. We have to photocopy our insurance, which you still have to get, and our passport.
And our passports.
We have to get euros, and
we have to photocopy our seminar and outline before we go.
Because every other student that's going with us needs a copy of our seminar. Alright, if there's anything we have to say left in this video, say it really fast.
No.
Link right here. Link right here.